In the heart of Genoa City, where glass towers reflect elegance while hiding cracks too deep to repair, a storm is beginning to rise. It does not begin with explosions or public scandals, but with silent decisions, cold glances, and carefully buried motives finally pushing their way to the surface. At the center of it all stands Phyllis Summers, a woman who has never truly accepted defeat, a woman who has learned how to turn humiliation into fuel and pain into strategy. This time, she is not simply fighting to survive. She is preparing to strike back. Phyllis no longer moves through life as a woman driven only by impulse. She has become sharper, more controlled, and far more dangerous. With Summers now in her hands, she sees more than a business victory. She sees a chance to rebuild power on her own terms and to challenge the man she believes played her for a fool. Victor Newman is no longer just a rival in her mind. He is the symbol of every betrayal she has swallowed and every loss she has been forced to endure. What Victor did to her was not merely a professional setback, it was personal. It was a reminder that in Genoa City, mercy is weakness and hesitation is fatal. That realization has hardened Phyllis. She is no longer interested in recovery. She wants revenge. To make that happen, she turns to Cain Ashby. Cain is already wounded, already frustrated, already carrying the bitterness of Arabesque's collapse like a private scar he cannot stop touching. His pride has taken too many hits. Already calm exterior is a man deeply unsettled by failure. Phyllis sees that weakness with unsettling clarity. She knows he does not want pity. He wants restoration. He wants proof that he is not finished. So she approaches him not like an enemy asking for peace, but like a strategist offering him a path back into the fight. She wants Cain to stop seeing her as a threat and start seeing her as necessary. That is where the danger begins. Phyllis is not offering loyalty out of kindness. She is offering partnership because she knows it gives her leverage. She pushes Cain toward the conclusion she wants without forcing him, making him feel as though choosing her is his own idea. She points to her success at Summers and to his failure with Arabesque. She presents herself as the one person who still understands how to win, how to maneuver, how to hit back when someone more powerful tries to crush you. Beneath every argument is a deeper, more manipulative truth. Phyllis wants Cain at her side because she wants Victor cornered, and she knows revenge is always easier when someone else has reason to bleed with you. Yet her motives are not entirely clean, and that makes everything more volatile. There is still unfinished history between Phyllis and Cain, still a dangerous undercurrent of attraction and old emotional residue that neither of them can fully deny. Phyllis understands how powerful that history can be. She knows that intimacy can become another weapon, another way of blurring judgment and pulling someone closer than they intended to come. For her, rekindling a personal connection may be optional in theory, but strategically useful in practice. That possibility hangs between them like a threat neither one dares name out loud. Cain senses it. He knows Phyllis never moves without purpose, and he knows any alliance with her would come at a cost. The question haunting him is not whether she can help him, but whether he can work with her without becoming trapped inside her war. While Phyllis builds her next move, another explosion is quietly forming elsewhere in the city, one rooted not in business, but in blood. Holden Novak is forced into a life-altering shock when Stephanie Simmons reveals that Malcolm Winters is his biological father. The truth does not just unsettle him. It tears through the foundation of the identity he has lived with for years. Everything Holden believed about where he came from suddenly feels unstable. The man who raised him is no longer the full answer. The past he trusted is no longer whole. In one moment, his sense of self becomes fractured by a truth that should have come long ago, but arrives now under the worst possible circumstances. What makes the revelation even crueler is the reason it surfaces now. Malcolm's illness and the urgent need for a bone marrow donor turn this family secret into something immediate and deeply personal. Holden is not being given time to process at his own pace. He is being pushed into a moral and emotional crisis the moment the truth reaches him. His anger is instant and justified. He is furious that something so enormous was hidden from him, furious that others knew, furious that decisions about his life were made without his consent. He feels used by the timing, as though the truth has only become important now because someone needs something from him. That is what makes Holden's pain so difficult. His rage is not only about deception, it is about dignity. He cannot separate the revelation from the possibility that he is being asked to step into the role of son only because Malcolm is sick. Even if that is not the full truth, it is the emotional reality Holden must wrestle with. The idea of testing to see whether he is a marrow match becomes more than a medical question. It becomes a test of character, of restraint, of whether he can act with compassion toward a man he never knew and a truth that has shattered him. Every instinct in him may push toward rejection, toward defiance, toward punishing the people who kept this from him. But beneath that anger is something more painful, the realization that refusing may haunt him just as much as accepting. The tragedy deepens because Malcolm does not immediately know the young man standing so close to this secret is his son. The emotional distance between them becomes almost unbearable precisely because of their physical closeness. Malcolm may witness the aftermath of Holden's confrontation with Stephanie without understanding what he is really seeing. That irony gives the entire situation a cruel weight. A father is near his son, and still separated from him by years of silence, choices already made, and truths revealed too late. The possibility of connection exists, but it is tangled in shock, resentment, and fear. Then comes Lily Winters, who may soon learn that Holden is her half-brother. For Lily, this is not merely surprising news. It is another fracture in the family narrative she thought she understood. She is suddenly forced to reconsider her father, her family history, and the emotional consequences of welcoming a stranger into a space that is supposed to be defined by trust. Holden is not just a name attached to a scandalous revelation. He is a living reminder that families are often built on omissions as much as on love. Lily may want to respond with empathy, but empathy becomes complicated when the truth arrives wrapped in pain, illness, and emotional chaos. What binds these storylines together is the pressure building inside each character. Phyllis is driven by wounded pride and the hunger to make Victor suffer. Kane is torn between caution and desperation, between mistrusting Phyllis and needing what she offers. Holden is trapped between rage and responsibility, trying to decide whether blood should mean anything when truth came so late. Malcolm stands on the edge of a reunion that could heal him emotionally, even as his body fails him physically. Lily is about to face a new branch of family she never asked for, and with it, all the discomfort of a past that refuses to stay buried. In Genoa City, the most dangerous battles rarely begin in public. They begin inside people, in the private moments when anger becomes resolve, when betrayal becomes obsession, and when wounded hearts start making ruthless choices. Phyllis believes she is finally taking control of her life, but revenge has a way of consuming the person seeking it. Kane may think he can enter her orbit without losing himself, but every step closer puts him deeper into a game built on manipulation. Holden may want to reject the truth entirely, but blood has a way of demanding to be reckoned with. And when Lily learns what has been hidden, the emotional fallout may stretch far beyond one revelation. What comes next is not just about secrets being exposed. It is about what people do after exposure changes them. It is about whether revenge feels worth it when it costs peace, whether truth brings healing when it arrives through pain, and whether family can survive when its foundation is cracked by years of silence. In this city, no one walks away untouched once the truth begins to surface. And this time, the damage may not come from enemies alone, but from the people each of them once believed they could trust.